U.S. stocks advanced Thursday, marking the Dow Jones Industrial Average's 10th straight daily gain and another new closing all-time high. The last time the Dow 30 had that many up days in a row was in November 1996, a few weeks before former federal chairman Alan Greenspan made his famous remarks about the market's possible irrational exuberance during an otherwise bland speech. More than 16 years later, market pros are debating whether the current market is in the throes of similar exuberance, and members of the financial press are throwing up the caution flag. Barron's.com guest technical analyst, Michael Kwon, argues that this stock market is running on fumes, in part because volume has been trending lower during this streak. See Getting Technical, the market is running on fumes, March 13th. An MS and Money writer Anthony Marihari has written the piece that gives 7 ways to bet against this rally. The slideshow piece gives 7 ways to position for a market decline. They include simply taking on more cash, adding treasuries and gold, and even shorting stock indexes and even individual shares, though the story doesn't recommend particular stocks. I'm always leery of investment stories that recommend shorting. Such pieces often come across as glib and a tad dangerous. As a long-only hedge fund manager once told me, companies and even governments have the resources and the motive to push stocks up, not down. Remember, too big to fail. If you short a stock, you'd better know truly terrible things about that company that the market doesn't know, or at least hasn't properly acknowledged. In the information age, it's hard to know bad things before the crowd does. They end up sticking to the company. Only time would tell whether Bill Ackman, the smart hedge fund pro who is shorting Herbalife ticker HLF on the belief that it will be exposed as an illegal pyramid scheme, got that one right. While we're on the topic of questionable stories, I should mention the Motley Fool piece that gives a tepid endorsement of the cheap but risky shares of E-Trade Financial ETFC, the online brokerage known for its catchy television ads and its disastrous foray into commercial lending during the mortgage crisis. As I have said in several other articles, uncertainty can create great opportunities. Right now the market is uncertain of E-Trade's ability to turn itself around and become consistently profitable, the article says. To be fair to the writer, he does suggest that you should invest in E-Trade only with money you can afford to lose. The problem is that the piece ran the day after word was released that Citadel, a large hedge fund and E-Trade's largest shareholder, had sold its entire 9.6% stake in the company, exiting an investment that made it the height of the online brokerage's mortgage woes more than 5 years ago. The move sent its shares down 8%. Strangely, not a word of the Citadel abandonment is in the Motley Fool story. So does E-Trade look like the better bet now that it's 8% cheaper? Not with my money. Seeking Alpha posted its own version of a positive piece on a risky stock. In this case, the stock is Baidu, the IDU, which has been called China's Google GOG. The argument is built around the stock's seemingly reasonable valuation, and the piece has been one of the most popular on the Seeking Alpha site all day. The problem is that the piece makes a fairly thin argument for the stock. It's mostly a value play. As a Barron's piece written late last year by staff writer Reshma Kapadia pointed out, Baidu and other Chinese internet stocks that depend on advertising revenue face some serious headwinds. Read the Seeking Alpha piece for yourself. But it seems that in the toppy market, investors should be cautious about taking risky bets on unproven stocks.